You will get to see everything before I post anything. So don't worry about that.
Awesome.
So what the area you live in, like, what's the population?
I think we're just under a 7,000-ish, so it's a pretty
Hmm.
small town.
Yeah, that is small.
Yeah.
Are you from a small town? Is that where you grew up?
I'm not from here, but originally, yes, I'm from a small town, Southwest Kansas.
Okay, cool. Well,
Yeah.
so the town that I didn't grow up there, but the town that I graduated high school from had 900 people, I think.
Oh, wow. Tiny.
Graduating class was like 51 people.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So it was
itty
small.
bitty.
But now I'm in Fort Worth and it's like there's probably
Huge.
like 900 people in like my block.
Yes, it's huge.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm so excited to talk to you.
Yes, thank
I
you
have a
so much for
total
having me.
girl crush on you right now because I think yours is one of the first. So I've only been on TikTok for maybe like, I don't know, a year before the ban or the rumors of the ban.
Yes,
Um,
that 15-hour ban.
yeah, exactly. I start every morning on TikTok though, just because it's such a great place to go to get inspired, and not
Yeah.
that I need new ideas because I've got a million ideas, but I just love to see other people doing things because then I don't feel so crazy.
Yes, I love it. So I have a very similar routine in the mornings. It's the first
You
thing I
do.
do. I wake up and I take the first 30 minutes of my morning and kind of just look at social media and ideas and things like that. It is. It kind of gets your mind and your juices flowing.
Yeah, it's a great way to start the day. It's tricky though because you might get stuck on it if you're not careful.
You
So I have
have
to be,
to, yes, I have
I
to
have to,
set an alarm.
I do too. I look at the clock. I'm like, okay, I'll stay here till 6 a.m. and then I have to get up and
Yes.
do whatever. I want to know your background, like before you started doing, I'm going to call you a creator because
Okay.
you're a content creator. So before you did all that, what did you do before that professionally?
Okay, so I originally went to Kansas State University and got a degree in horticulture or landscape design. So I started off my career by doing that, and I absolutely loved it, but I realized that there was kind of a cap in pay. So after about 3 years, I actually went into aircraft. Where I'm from, Boeing is a really big builder here. And so I went into aircraft and I was an operations senior manager in
Oh,
aircraft.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I did that up until just this last year, last January. I quit and decided to do house flipping full time.
Oh,
Yeah.
a
So I've
girl
always
after my own heart. That's
I've always kind of
awesome.
done house projects on the side. And
Yeah.
it just became a lot, working a full-time job and then in the evenings trying to get houses done. So, yeah, I mean, it took a while to get there, but we finally decided, all right, we're going to start an LLC and yeah, I'm going to flip houses.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Well, so I've only flipped one home. And
Okay.
I will say I didn't flip it. I bought it and renovated it and held it for rental, so I still have
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like I lost 5 months of my life and 10 years off my body. So
It's a
it
lot of
was
work.
rough, but I was so excited because it was like one of those houses that like I knew that I couldn't make it any worse because it was horrible.
Yes.
So it was a lot of fun. It was very tough on the body for sure. But I'm ready to do it again. It's like, I mean, I didn't go through full child labor. I did like a C-section, but I felt like all the things that were awful wore off already, and I
Yeah,
think
you
I can
forget.
do it again.
Yep.
So I don't know if I could do it full time though, just because it is so physical. Um,
Yes.
but just the hazards more than anything,
Yeah.
just like the stuff in the air. And anyway, I
Yeah.
wore masks, but I came out of it with a smoker's cough. So that's not
Yeah.
good. That's not good for your body. But
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful.
yeah, it's awful. Okay, so really quick backstory. I want to know the behind the scenes on how people create the content that they create. Um, Really mainly women. Nothing against guys, but I feel
That's
like I'm inspired by women more than I am men. Although I do follow some like male woodworkers or whatever just to see the tricks and everything. Um,
right.
but really, I'm kind of intrigued by the mom not working a traditional job. So before I'm in real estate, so I'm a real estate broker. And before I got into that, I was a nurse. I was an adult intensive care unit nurse, and I knew that I wasn't going to stay in that for forever because it's very stressful. It's very hard on your body also. But
Yeah.
I knew like several years before I got out that I needed to get out. But then I bought and sold a house and I was like, wow, that looks easy. And so I went ahead and got into real estate. But fast forward, I think I'm in it 6 years now. And I enjoy the home part of it more than I enjoy the selling part of it. Like it's a grind trying to find clients and, do all that stuff. But
Right.
started staging for clients, and then my girlfriends and I started doing like accent walls and things. And
Yes.
it turned last summer for one of my friends that we sold her house, we did, I think, 5 accent walls, like batten board walls, and we painted her entire interior of her house, including her skylight. I got stuck on top of the roof at one point because I decided to go up there and check something out, and I could not come back down. So, anyway, but I like the physical stuff more than like the hi, do you want to work with me kind of stuff.
Right.
So, and I knew when I was a nurse that I didn't want to be in a building clocking in for the rest of my life. And I kept thinking like, you just got to work. I want to work from home. I want to work from home. And so I thought it'd be fun to interview a bunch of people that look like they're doing that, uh,
Yeah.
to give other women hope that like you also can do something different than just the grind of clocking in and clocking out. Some people love to be an employee. I absolutely hate it. If I have to go inside a building, if anybody tells me to go inside a building and stay there for a period of time, unless it's like Lowe's or Home Depot, I'm probably not your girl. So anyway, but that's the whole purpose of kind of talking to people like you that are out there doing those things. So I followed all your socials. I think I've got all of them. You're on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Are you anywhere else that I haven't seen?
Facebook is actually my largest following,
Okay,
which
I
is
looked you up
kind of ironic.
today. I must have gone to just your personal because it only said you had like 4 friends, but you've got a business
Oh,
Facebook.
yeah, I have like 440 some thousand on Facebook.
Holy cow. Okay, how
I
did I
know
miss
it's
that?
kind of
Okay.
crazy.
Embarrassing. What's your Facebook called? Or what's your
It's just Lyndsey Roby, and it's
Okay.
Lyndsey and then Roby.
I don't know how I found you, but then I don't know. I'll go back and look. So I need to make sure I'm following you everywhere you go.
Okay.
Cool. What is your favorite platform to post on? That is Facebook your favorite?
Yeah, probably, which is ironic. I know it's not the most popular. It's just kind of what I knew. I'm 35 years old, and so TikTok was kind of like the last thing I learned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I for some reason I just have my largest following on Facebook. I think some of that is due to when you look at like the analytics of things of just the age. A lot of women, I think I'm at like 83% women follow me, and most of them are between 27 to I think it's 59 is my age range. So, if you compare that, Facebook is kind of where we all grew up, a little bit older. And so I think that's why I do a little bit better there. But I do post the same content on all 4 platforms.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so when I saw you earlier, I was like, she is way younger than me, so she's probably not even going to be on Facebook. I'm
No.
I'm a 46-year-old gal, but
Oh,
that's where I tend to be. But lately, I like you or TikTok just because I like to watch videos real quick. Like when I'm in the car waiting on my drink
right.
to be made, I just pop on to TikTok really
Right.
fast. So
Yes.
aside from Facebook, it looks like I've got all your stats over here. It
Oh,
looks
okay.
like TikTok, you got 10 million views on the video that I found you on, which was the faux beam.
Yep. The
So that
famous
was a big
stuff.
one. You got 10 million views there, and you've got almost 66,000 subscribers there.
Yep.
Um, and then I think Instagram, you've got more subscribers, but that's probably because it's personal stuff too. People have been following you for a long time.
Yeah, actually, Instagram kind of just blew up in this last year for me. I think I had like 2,000 followers in the last year, and I don't know what I have now, 75,000 or something like that. That's just come off of my DIY videos.
That's big growth though. I saw
Yeah,
something shifted for you in 2022 because that's when you kind of joined these platforms, and I was like,
yeah.
okay, what happened in 2022? Did we win the lottery and now we don't have to work and we just make videos?
Yeah, so funny. I actually just had no idea, had never had any intentions of being a content creator. It just kind of fell in my lap, which I know sounds silly, but I really didn't try. I was actually on a vacation with my mom and my best friend, and I woke up and I got a notification that said, "You've been invited to the professional platform on Facebook." And I thought, "What is that?" So I started looking into it, and honestly, I tried to opt out of being paid because I thought just another thing to worry about taxes on, right?
Oh
And
gosh,
I
yes.
just really didn't think I was going to make very much money. And so I quickly learned that you can't do it if you don't take the pay. So I thought, okay, well, I'll probably make like $50. So I just posted a couple videos, and of course, those ones immediately took off, and I was getting tons of views. So, yeah, I kind of just realized that I just started videoing what I was already doing. I was working on a house at the time and just started kind of posting those things. And I look back and of course the content was absolutely horrible. I was really bad at videoing and kind of figuring out even how to post and what I was doing. But I just quickly realized like, hey, people actually want to watch this stuff. So I didn't really change what I was doing. I just videoed it and learned how to edit and throw things online. And I just kind of quickly grew. And then I realized like, oh, this is actually really fun. You know, people want to follow this and you can get ideas from other people and people are interested in the projects I do that, you know, most the time I'm just working by myself and nobody really gets to see them. So it's been a really fun transformation just to kind of, you know, have the world kind of come along with you and some good and some bad, right? You can't make everybody
Yeah.
happy. You get your
Yeah.
fair share of bad comments too. But
I read a comment today and it was like, I think you were painting something. I want to say it was like, you were doing the countertop epoxy, which I've done before, and that's a
yes.
beast. I've done it 3 or 4 countertops now, and it's just
Yeah.
anyway, but you were painting something. I think you had kills, maybe oil-based, I forget, and a guy. It's always sorry, you guys, it's always a guy that's like, you should have used Ben Zinser or something like
yes.
where it's like, okay, thanks. Where's your countertop? Show us a picture of your
Yes.
countertop. And I felt like saying, show us you're a jerk without telling us you're a jerk. I just like,
yeah.
why? Why?
Yeah.
But
You know, when you post, you have to know that you're kind of inviting some of those comments. So you just have to just not care, right?
it's hard. It's hard. I'm sure that some people, I think, kick back at it. Other people just ignore it. But
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
You're just let it go.
But they say if you're not ruffling some feathers, you're not trying hard enough. So,
Well, there you go. I
so,
make my fair share of people mad. So
so going to your videos, you were shooting them on your own. Do you still shoot your own videos, all your own
I do.
videos?
Yeah, I pretty well time lapse most of everything I do just because, you know, house projects don't go near as quick as the 30-second video that you get to watch, as you know.
Really? Mm.
So yeah, I pretty well just throw it on time lapse and I mostly just video everything I do and I post probably a quarter of what I actually do. But yeah, I throw it on a tripod and I have a tripod that just follows me where I walk.
Oh,
And
that's neat.
yes, it's been very handy. That's kind of a new one I got in the last probably 4 months, and it's been really nice.
That's cool. Do you have it on like an affiliate? Is it on your store? I saw you have an Amazon
Yes.
store.
Yep. I actually got it off of TikTok. They let me promote it, and it's been very helpful.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna put that on my list of things to do
Yeah.
today. Because I'm very manual with what I'm doing. Here's the thing. I shoot so many videos of all the things we do, and then I don't do anything with it
I I do the exact same thing.
because
My
the rest
phone
of it is a
storage is
grind.
yep, all my storage is full, and I think Lyndsey, go edit some videos to get them off your phone. And do
I
I? Nope.
know. Have you thought about outsourcing your videos to have somebody else doing it for you, and that way you can post more content?
I haven't, mostly just because I know if I will just lock myself down, I will do it.
Yeah.
But no, I like kind of editing. I mean, I don't like editing, but I do. I like that I do the voiceovers and things like that. So,
Yeah.
honestly, the voiceover is the longest part for me. It's the editing's not too bad. So,
Well,
kind of
and
just
you have to do the voiceover because that's the reason people want to watch it is because like
right.
that's the reason I watch things. Like when people do that AI voiceover, I'm like, oh,
It's just not personal, right?
yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to hear the creator's voice. I want to know that she's
Yeah,
a person and she really did do all this herself.
right.
So what kind of editing software are you using for your videos?
I just use CapCut. So I'm
CapCut.
probably a very untraditional content creator because I don't pay for any subscriptions. I really don't do anything special. If I can do it on my level, then I do it. And if not, then it's probably not getting posted kind of thing. But I've learned that I haven't really ran into anything that I couldn't video or I couldn't somehow edit. But yeah, I'm pretty basic CapCut. And then I just add audio. Well, I add my voiceovers in CapCut, and then when I get online, if I do any type of sound or anything like that, I just do it in the individual apps. I try to steer away from the sound, just because there's so much going on with, you know, licensing and things like that. Sometimes you're allowed to do it, and then it could be a year later and your video gets removed, or they mute it because they
Yes,
decide,
they pull it. Oh,
yeah.
that's
So
annoying.
I've kind of just stayed away from doing that and just mostly do voiceovers.
Cool. Okay, so I've got a whole list of things I got to ask you about. Hang on a second. Okay, so you said your favorite platform right now is Facebook. What's your second favorite? Is it going to be TikTok? Because that's where I.
Probably TikTok. Yeah.
Okay.
So I really like TikTok for myself. It's my favorite place, just like you, to go scroll and get ideas
Yeah.
because it's quick and it's easy and it's just what I use. Um, the the side of TikTok that I don't absolutely love on my end is that I'm a content creator and do promotional items for TikTok. And so I feel like my page gets very flooded with just like, doing products. It's not all house stuff, where my Instagram, my Facebook, and my YouTube are all primarily just it's the projects that I'm doing. It's not trying
Mhm.
to sell a product. So while I
Gotcha.
love TikTok, I'm kind of mad at myself at the route I took. If I could go back to day one, I probably would have never got into promoting items. But that's just kind of where it led, I guess. And
So
now
are
I'm
they showing those videos as a priority over your organic
I do.
non?
I would say that I get more views on my projects than I do the promoting, but they
Yeah.
just like to throw a lot of the promotional videos or items, I guess, at you to go
Okay.
try to sell. So I hate when
Okay.
someone comes to my TikTok page and it's like you're scrolling, and you just see me with a lot of products versus projects. I would rather my platform be more DIY projects. But
Yeah,
that's
I
just my
gotcha.
choice. That may not bug anybody else. It's
Yeah.
just kind of why TikTok's not my favorite, but it is my favorite platform to scroll on. So,
Do they tell you what products they want you to promote?
yes. So typically they will send you products. So the way that TikTok works, and the platforms are all kind of different, but TikTok is a big one. It's almost like a big Amazon, right? You can go shopping for
Yeah.
whatever you want and then you request it and they will send it to you or not. And then you get, I think it's 14 days to promote the product on there.
Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Sometimes I wonder when I see people, promoting stuff, I'm like, well, that's kind of different than what I thought they were going to do on their show, on their channel.
Right. So
But
that's where like I said, if I could go back to day one, I
yeah.
probably would have stayed away from it because I go shopping and I find things that like, this looks really cool. And it doesn't have anything to do with the house, but it looks like a cool product. And then I end up promoting products that really don't follow my platform. So yeah, if I could go back, I definitely would probably change
Yeah.
that.
Well, live and learn. I mean, the platform's going to do what they want to do,
It's
and
absolutely true. Yes. And
it's
TikTok pushes that side of the creator fund.
that makes sense. I mean, it's a business, I guess. So
Right.
I never hate the player. You know
Yes,
what I
there
mean?
you
Like you do what
go.
you got to do.
No,
So okay, I saw a few things. I saw your Amazon shop. I saw that you've got affiliates, and then I saw mustard seed trading. Is that
yeah,
I saw
yeah,
hats.
yeah. Mustard Seed Trading Co. So that's just something I do on the side. I actually do local craft shows. It's just
Hmm.
something fun. I have a problem sitting still, so I started doing. I hand burn felt hats. And so I thought, you know what? Well, I'm just going to throw them online. And it's more than anything, it's just easier to keep the inventory for myself for craft shows. But yes, so I do have a very small page that I really don't put enough attention into realistically because it's more just when it's fun for me or someone wants to customize a hat. But I do
Yeah.
most of that stuff local. I mean, I
Okay.
ship here and there, but I haven't gone big time with my hats.
Well, it's hard because you have a lot of different things you can do because you're like
Yeah.
you're a creator and you're talented. So it's like, what should I be doing with my time?
Right. I have
Because I
to.
could do a million things, but
I
what things should I focus on?
I absolutely get myself into trouble with that of like steer it back in, Lyndsey.
I know. It's hard because it's fun. It's so much fun
Yes.
to do 10 different things at one time.
Yes, it's really crafting any kind of project I like, staying busy. So it's all fun to me.
So it sounds like right now, so I looked at I watched all your videos on TikTok, but then a lot of the stuff is the same thing on other channels, but
Right.
it looks like you've done like an RV renovation, like you bought an RV and renovated that.
Yep.
And you've done a basement, which I grew up in Wisconsin, so I remember basements, but we don't have basements here. But I was like,
Oh,
that's so
okay.
much square footage down
Yes.
here. You've done bathrooms, you're flipping homes. How many homes have you flipped?
Oh gosh. Probably close to 12 or 13 at this
Holy
point.
cow. Okay.
But I have only flipped two. I actually am under contract on my second one right now. doing it completely by myself. So I kind of went on a little bit of a life challenge last year when I started my LLC, and for no reason other than I just wanted to prove to myself that I could just do it with absolutely no help. And I wanted to see how kind of budget friendly I could do it. So my first house was just a little bit of a trial run, and everything went really great with it. So I have done, like I said, I just finished my second one. I purchased my third one. I'm just about to start on it. And here in about 2 weeks, I will close on
Wow.
it. So
Oh,
yeah, I
wow.
have done full houses from ceiling to basements. I can pretty well do it all at this point. If
Yeah.
there's something that I can't do, that's what YouTube is for.
Yeah. I heard you on one of your videos. I think you were doing your entryway where you like, broke into that wall and you're like,
Yes.
there's a little bit of electrical here, but that's a problem for another day or something like
Yes.
that.
Yes. And everyone will come scorn me for it that I do my own electrical.
There's tools to make sure you're not going to shock yourself. There's this
Exactly.
thing called the main panel where you can turn off the
Cut it
electricity.
off.
I don't touch the main panel in the garage because
No,
I respect the ocean, bears,
agree.
and electrical panels. So, but
Absolutely
plumbing, I'll
agree.
try anything. I know how to shut the water off to the house. So
You are funny. We are very
and
similar.
I don't care. I'll do anything. I'll cut through walls. I don't care. But I don't know, like some things you can totally do yourself. But yeah, so well, that's cool that you're flipping houses. Are you finding them on your own or how are you getting that? How are you getting the houses?
So I actually have a realtor.
Okay.
I typically find most of them at what I want to go look at, and I shoot it to her, which again is very untraditional when you look at actual investors and house flippers. Typically, they all go get their real estate license. Um, to me, it is just not worth my time. I don't like the paperwork. I don't like the contracts side of stuff. My realtor's been in the game for 32 years, I believe it is. She's been doing it a really long time. She's a really good friend of mine, and she is absolutely awesome at her job, and she is worth my 3%.
Oh yeah, you don't even,
Um,
yeah, I mean it's a no-brainer then.
Absolutely. When you buy a house, you just automatically throw that in the cost. And there are, still to this day, I've bought and sold a ton of houses. And I still, to this day, she will, say something and it's like, oh, let's make sure we put that in the contract. And it's like, I didn't even think of that. So I think that's kind of my constant reminder of like, you know what? I'm not a realtor. I don't want to
Yeah.
be a realtor.
Yeah.
That's not really my game. So yeah.
Again, you can do it all, but do you need to do it all?
Right.
If at the end of the day, what you love to do is work on the house, then you don't have to also do the contracts for the house, you know?
Absolutely. In my mind, I can find other ways to save money on budget friendly projects in the house that I spend my money on her.
Yeah. Plus you get to support your friend. That's probably fun too, doing
Absolutely.
the shopping. And you'll
Yes.
have your own show before you know it. You guys will have video cameras following you around, trying to pick out the house.
Oh, you're funny.
The house that you were doing the kitchen in, where you did the marble countertops and you did the upper cabinets lighter color, bottom you did the faux wood. Was that a flip
So
house or was that your house?
that's Flip House. That's the one I just finished.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
That was a head to toe. I got it kind of what you said earlier, like you couldn't make it any worse. It
Yeah.
was the smelliest, ugliest, most horrible house you can have. Structurally, it was great. It just, they did not take care of it. So yeah, I pretty well gutted that from head to toe and started over.
How long did it take you to do that house?
That one I held for 6 months. It was a little longer than I wanted to, but there were some big things on the outside that I had to do. And of course, I just refused to hire somebody. So I said, you know what? I'm going to learn how to do siding and
Yeah.
reside an entire chimney. And so I probably could have been a little quicker, but to me, it was worth it. It's kind
Yeah.
of learning. I'm at the beginning of the company. So to me, the more I can learn right now is very helpful versus doing it in the end. So
Whenever I do my projects, there's stuff I could hire out. I do hire out flooring, like just because it slows me down. Like I also
right.
I'm not very fast at things, but I feel like over the years I've gotten a lot faster and didn't even
Yeah.
realize it until I saw somebody else doing it. My girls are really fast now, and one of the girls is really good at doing like the math on accent walls because you got to space things appropriately, and she can kind of see a few more steps ahead of me on like what things are going to get in our way, and so that's really
Yes.
helpful. Anytime it's the first time doing something, like I want to learn how to do it. So even if it's going to take a lot longer, it's going to cost me twice as much just to gain the skill and just to have it
Absolutely.
in my repertoire as something that I have done, can do, just makes me feel
Yeah.
so much more confident when I'm
Yes.
telling somebody we can do this, you
I
know?
absolutely agree. I think when you're promoting that, and that's probably the biggest part of my platforms is, I'm promoting to go do budget friendly DIY projects, and I'm telling women, men too, but mostly women of like, hey, you can do this. You can knock down that wall. Like just put
Yeah.
your mind to it and you can do it. So I have to be able to do it right and do it confidently and be able to show you, hey, look, you're not going to fall over dead if you do it. You're not going to shock yourself, turn off the breaker panel, simple
Yeah.
things like that, that absolutely knowledge is huge key in our world.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I've never done siding, so kudos to you on doing siding. It
Well,
probably isn't rocket surgery, but
it's not.
yeah. Have
Nope.
you built anything from scratch? Like, have you ever built like a shed or anything like that? Or
I have never done a full building. No. People kind of joke about that a lot with me, or they'll say, hey, could you build me a tiny home and things like that? And I immediately say, like, you don't want me to build a home for you. It will probably blow over, right? Like I'm sure I could do it if I would sit down and actually put my mind and math to it. Just not really something I'm super interested in. I like to make things pretty and redo. I love the concept of taking something that is such a dud that nobody wants, right? Like a
yes.
horrible house. And at one time, it was somebody's home. And so it's so sad to me to see how that can just be something that nobody wants anymore. So I love to kind of bring it into like, hey, this is a new family's going to move into this now and they're going to raise their kids or whatever their story is. This is going to be their home where they're going to build core memories. I like to bring that back. So I kind of got reminded that on this last house that I was working on. I was up on the roof and the neighbor from back behind kind of came out and I had never met him before. And he just said like, oh my gosh, you have a big project on your hands. And I said, yeah, this is kind of a bad one. And he laughed and he said, the old lady that lived there before, the people you bought it from would just be rolling over in her grave if she knew what that house looked like. It just kind of reminded me of like, this is why I do what I do. Because I would be mortified, if I went and found my home that I had put my love into my whole life and then it's just falling to the ground or it smells so bad you can't walk in. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I do what I do. That's my passion anyways, not so much new build.
Yeah, I feel like so it's so weird when you look back at your life and you're like what you loved then versus now. So when I
Yeah.
was brand new married, we had a brand new house. It was nice because then we had a new baby and it's like everything's,
Yeah.
honeymoon period, like nothing's breaking right now. And
Right.
now you couldn't put me in a new house. Like if I built a barndominium, I will live in it. But if it's just like we're getting a different house, it's going to be old. It's going to be not good looking because I want to go in there and bring the soul back to it. Like I always tell my son, and he's a lot like me. He wants to go live out in the woods in like a small house. He's 17 and he's like already ready to like, settle down or whatever.
I
But
love that.
just new homes have no soul. And I show a lot of homes. And so it's hard for me too, because I have to kind of step back and be like, okay, this is not where I'm going to live. But I
Right.
would so much rather a home that has charm and like, even if the layout's not like open concept like everybody wants, like everything is part of the time it was built in. And it all has like charm and like, I feel like there's been families that have lived there, memories have been made. It feels different.
Yes.
And I feel like that is so much more intriguing than going into like a very cookie cutter or even an older home that like a fast flip has come in and just changed everything to like neutral. Like, where
Right.
everything just looks very like I know that vanity's from Lowe's. Very cookie
Yes.
cutter. And it's
Yep.
like you just ruined it. You took
Yep.
the house and you ruined it.
Took all the character away.
You
I
killed her.
absolutely agree with you. Character is key.
Yeah.
I love character.
So the transformation's where it's at. I feel like for you, it's like the taking it from ugly and doing it yourself, because then you have you do save money, but I think probably a big part of it, you have to tell me if I'm wrong, is just knowing that you did it yourself because it feels like
Absolutely.
amazing to be the one that brought around the transformation. Then
Absolutely.
seeing people be super excited about it when they go buy it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's really fun to hear the feedback and things. When people are looking at the home, open houses, things like that, and it's really cool to see the feedback when it's like, you've worked so hard on it, and I'm proud of all the projects that I've done. But yes, to be able to see someone go in and say like, "Oh my gosh, this is the house," I absolutely love it. But yeah, that's definitely like the character you kind of said. It's funny because people will say like, "Well, but." When you flip houses, how are you confident that they're going to sell? And I say, well, the difference is going into a cookie cutter home. Like I sell houses and I try to stay in a certain price point. I have a good range of what I have figured out sells better than others for me. And I just go in and I say, like, what is going to make my house stand out from all the other hundreds on the market? And it's simple little things like accent walls, the
Mhm.
things that you girls are doing that just seem to catch people's eye. And let's be honest, typically the female is the one that's going to choose the house, right? They're going to tell their husband, this is the one I want and I love. So, um, obviously I try to gear towards that a little bit, but if it's just something so small, like putting a tiny accent wall that's going to take me, 3 or 4 hours to do, then that's what I'm going to do. Cause I agree with you. I don't want everything to be just blah cookie cutter beige. I do love beige. You have to follow kind of the trends and what people want. And it's
Yeah.
hard because you don't know what everyone wants. So there's a fine line between staying neutral, but also putting some character in the home.
It has to be a little bit neutral because if you go too hard one direction, then you're going
Right.
to alienate potentially half the buyers.
Right.
But
Yes.
I think women do make the purchasing decision for the most part. I think that people buy on emotion. And
Yeah,
so if they fall in love with one or two things, then it's pretty much a done deal, I feel like. So
absolutely agree.
yeah, that's why, I mean, I always tell people too, like in real estate, like that's why model homes put so much money into their decor and their walls. They do accent walls and model homes because they want you to fall in love there,
Right.
and then upgrade the crap out of you before when you're building yours.
Yep.
But even when you upgrade it, you won't get accent walls. You're just going to get nice cabinets and nice
Yep.
countertops and, that sort of thing. But yeah, I feel like accent walls are like a super fast way. That and I feel like light fixtures are like the quickest, cheapest
Absolutely agree.
way to change a room. And I'm all about fast transformations. Like the house we did last year from a girlfriend of mine, I think we worked on it probably 2 months. Just like hardcore, like we were over there we were doing a few houses at one time. So we're kind of like peppering this one a little bit and then running over to this one and doing this one but with hers we did the most at this house but it was just like it was all anybody could talk about were the accent walls, so not trying to do too trendy because trendy can also turn some people off.
Yes, it's
um,
hard.
and I don't want anybody taking these walls down because sometimes there's glue involved and you'll tear the wall up.
It's
If it
very
comes
true.
down.
It's not always pretty behind the scenes,
I
is it?
know. The house that you live in, did you redo your house or was yours already good to go?
Yeah, so funny. This is not our forever home, but we live in a very cookie cutter house. And when I moved in, my husband owned the home before me. And so when I moved in with him, I was just like, I hate this house, right? Every wall in the home was blue. And I mean every wall, upstairs, downstairs, bathrooms, everywhere. And I just was mortified. So I have slowly over time, yes, I go in and do my own projects. And of course, my house is always the last on the list because
Yes.
I have 900
Yes.
other projects to get done. But so I kind of just phase in. There's still a lot of things in my own home that I would love to do. And people come over and I say, like, don't look at my floors. I want new flooring. Don't judge me. This is not what my houses look like when I work on them. But yeah, no, I have pretty well at this point. I think I've gotten all but one bathroom done in our house. I just recently decided, like, you know what? Let's build a bedroom downstairs. Like, I want to prove to myself I can build a whole wall. It's kind
That's
of
great.
sometimes I test things on my own house too and see what's going to work and not
Yeah.
work. And
I used to have that rule, like I have to do it at my house before I'll do it at your house because I don't
yes,
want to mess
yes,
up at your house. But then I got
absolutely.
busy and I was like, no, we'll just do it. What's the worst that can happen? And there's something about I think that probably another reason that you and I feel the freedom to do the things we do is because it's not for a particular person, it's
Right,
for the future family. So
right.
like getting homes ready that I'm listing to sell, you're not going to live here, so you don't have to love this. You're going to
Right.
love it. But like, I'm not making it for you. I'm making it for the public to like fall in love with it. But if somebody wants me to come in, which I've had a few girlfriends want me to come over and do things at their house, and I'm like, that makes me so nervous because what if
I,
you hate it? And
yeah, it's so funny. We are very similar. I get asked realistically probably every other day if I will do jobs for people, and I have yet to this day to ever take a job. I am the same way. It's not personal to me. When it's a home that I don't know who's buying it, I just want to make the whole thing pretty, and I want to like it at the end, and I hope somebody else loves it too. But yeah, I'm not so much. I think there's a little bit of a fear probably figure out how to get over that. But I just know not everything I do is perfect, right? Like I learn along the way, just like you guys are learning. There's new projects that I try all the time, and sometimes they don't always come out great. Or maybe the first time I do it's okay, but I'm going to learn things from it. So I feel like if I'm not like a professional, then I don't think you should pay me to come do it. So yeah, I absolutely agree with what you're saying there, 100%. I don't like to take on side work if it's for somebody, and specifically people I know. And I don't know why.
Well,
It's
because then you're always
probably
wondering, like, do they love it? Did they just say they loved it?
right.
Do
Are they
they
being
actually
nice?
Well, I don't know. I also this is gonna sound so awful, but I don't want anybody telling me how to do it. You know what I mean? Like if it's yours, like at your house or at a house you're flipping, like no one's you might ask somebody their opinion on something, but at the end of it, you're just like, it's my decision. Nobody
Absolutely.
has to like it. Like, you know, it's
Absolutely.
just more freeing that way. So I think that's why
Yeah.
I prefer to do that. So
Yeah, I get asked a lot, like, do you ever want to hire someone, or does your husband help you on the projects? And I always jokingly say, like, no, he's very kind and he always offers. I just don't let him. I just really like doing it my way, and I'm
yeah.
gonna figure it out. And agreed, I don't want to be told how to do it. I just want to do what I want. And you know what? I
Yeah.
might walk in the door that morning with an idea, and 5 minutes later, I might have a new idea, and we're putting up a different colored wall. I
Subject
just
to
want to do
change.
what I
All
want.
plans. I'll walk through and be like, okay, I think we're gonna do this wall and this wall, but all of my ideas are subject to change the moment
Absolutely.
before we do them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband, I always joke that I'm like, you can help me with like taking things to and from and like helping me when things are too heavy, but in general, I'm probably gonna figure out a way to do it myself. But if I
Yes.
ask you to help me, like I still get to decide what to do. Like I can't
Yes.
and I might ask them, I ask the girls their opinion. I work with, a few really good girlfriends and I'll ask them
Yeah.
things and sometimes they'll see things I won't see and I'll be like, I don't know. And then we'll end up doing it, somebody else's way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I never would have seen that if you didn't,
Right.
say that to me.
Right.
So I am open to the girls' opinions, not so much the men's. It sounds like I'm
And
anti-man. I'm not. I just, it's like when you work with people after a while, like they'll even say sometimes, they had an idea when I wasn't there, and they're like, one of my girlfriends will be like, "Well, I know Jessica's gonna hate that, but let's ask her anyway." And sometimes I'm like, "Yeah, I hate that." Other times I'm like, "Well, let's just give it a try and see," and then and it either goes well or doesn't. But the nice thing about it is nothing's permanent, you
absolutely, you
know.
can change anything. I actually just posted a video last night on that, and you'll probably see it the entryway when you walked in the house, and I did kind of a little mud corner, and I had the whole thing done, and honestly, I had it done for well over a month, and then I just decided to come back and do that electrical, and I realized I really hate that color. I'm repainting it.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. I can't wait.
Yes, and I'm just thinking it's not even my house, but it just didn't flow with everything else, and it looked purple. It wasn't
Yeah.
taupe, and so yes, I rolled in and said, "All right, we're gonna paint it today." It was a very
Isn't
spur of the
that
moment.
weird when you can tell that something's wrong and you're like, you
Yes,
just can't. So my rule is if I go to bed and I hate it or I'm iffy, then
yes,
the next morning when I come out or go to the job or whatever, if the first thought I have is no, then absolutely hands down I have to fix it.
that's
I cannot walk away knowing that that does not work, you know?
that's a really great rule. I think I'm gonna pick that up.
Yeah, I mean, just in your gut, if it's right or wrong, and
Right.
you're just like, oh. Well, let me ask you a question. I'm planning on putting brick on my ceiling in my entryway, like not real bricks, but like either
Yes.
the thin bricks, which is
Good.
going to end up being, I think, it'll be like 400 pounds. So I don't know that the ceiling really should have that up there, or I'm going to get those, the ones you used on the backsplash,
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna turn.
the
Sorry,
board.
I'm sitting in my living room and I don't know. Can you see my brick?
Yes, I've seen this video. Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So faux brick is one of my absolute favorite things to do with those 4x8 sheets. It's inexpensive. It's honestly, if you don't like it, I don't glue mine up. I just nail it. It stays
Uh,
just fine. I just brad nail it up there. So if you don't like it or the trend changes in 2 years,
Take it down.
pull it down and you have sheetrock behind it. But I am
Yeah.
100% all for brick. I would put brick in every inch of my house if I could. I
I
love
love
it.
it. I know. I
Absolutely.
love it. I am worried though that when it goes out, it's going to be kind of, hard. So I did a double herringbone brick backsplash tile in my kitchen. and it's mortared, like it's on there. Like
Yeah.
it's not coming off without taking that wall, but whatever. I mean, sheetrock, you know. But
Yeah.
what I'm thinking about doing, because I saw your above your fireplace, and I think you didn't use the same thing on the backsplash in the flip house in
Yep.
the kitchen. Okay.
Yep.
So, but what I want to do is a herringbone. So this is going to sound ridiculous, but is the material like hardboard or like basically, can I cut the bricks out and make it a herringbone pattern on the ceiling?
You absolutely can. I mean, it's going to take time, right? Just a little jigsaw and you can cut each one of them out. But yeah, it's hard to cut it all. I actually throw them, typically if I'm cutting, I will just cut down on my table saw and then I
Yeah,
come back and jigsaw and I just cut,
that makes
you know,
sense. Like almost like cut rows and then come back.
yeah, and then I just go every other on them.
I found an alternative product that's like a PVC and it's kind of got like a little bit of it's raised a little bit. And so it's got like the grooves where you actually can get in there and grout. But
Yeah.
it's like for the space I need to do, which I forget exactly, I think it's 7 by 7.
Okay.
It's gonna be $600.
Yeah,
And I was
that's
like, ah,
yeah, I feel like you could just easily stick to just your panels and cut them out.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. I probably should
Yeah,
do that.
but they come up with so many of them nowadays. They may have that style out there somewhere that you
I
could
know. I
buy.
wish they just would print that same thing in herringbone because then it would, because everything
Yeah.
I have in my house is herringbone. But then at some point it's like, is it two herringbone? Can you ever be two herringbone?
There, no, there could never be too much herringbone. Not
That's
in
what
my
I feel
world.
like. That's what I feel like. Okay, so tell me monetization wise. So you're probably your main source of income now is like what you make from doing a flip, like
Right.
whenever you sell the house.
Correct.
Are you making anything significant off of like the affiliate deals and the Amazon and everything else and Facebook?
Yeah. So Amazon, I would say very minimal because I really don't push it probably near as much as I should. Just am not really, I don't really care too much about selling the products. I mostly just want to put it out there so people know. I've got my affiliate with Amazon. If you want to go buy it, it's just sometimes it's a pain to go, find someone's page and go find the product. And I don't necessarily love how Amazon does not let you put a direct link to the product in a video. And it
Uh-huh.
frustrates me because I know when I'm looking at a video and I want to go see and I just want to click it and be there, right? If I can't do that, I'm not going through your page and I'm not scrolling and finding all the things on your Amazon account. And so I just don't push it near as hard as I could, realistically. So yes, I minimally monetize on Amazon. And then probably my biggest stuff is just my affiliate from views on Facebook and TikTok are definitely my big ones. So I do
Okay.
not make any money on Instagram. Instagram and Facebook are owned by Meta. It's the same company. So they actually don't monetize on Instagram anymore. They used to at one point, and now it's Facebook.
They're like,
Um,
that's double dipping. You only get one.
right, right. So it's funny, and I'll kind of show you, like at least in my world, where the best things are. But I make my most money Facebook and TikTok from views.
Mhm.
Typically, my videos will go viral on Facebook before they will anywhere else. And if you can get one to go viral, you do very well off of it, right? Like there's definitely a good amount of money there. And TikTok is starting to pay a lot better for program product. I'm going to say it wrong, but it's a creator fund where you're going in and just making, instead of selling products, they're starting to pay attention and pay more for creating content. And then my Instagram I use primarily because I get a lot of US based promotional things. And a lot of them reach out that are geared towards what I'm doing, right? So they're all house projects. Like I don't know if you saw, I just put up a barn door, a Dini barn door. So
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
one.
cool.
And yeah, that one came, it's actually was produced and made in Houston, Texas to me. And it was a very small local family business and sent it to me. So I like a lot of that stuff from Instagram and I don't reach out for any of it. They all reach out to me and say, hey, will you promote our products? And I'm very picky on Instagram because I do not want to happen what happened on TikTok, right? So I only promote something that like I would want in my own home and it has to be geared towards houses. And then YouTube, I just put pretty much anything on there as far as my creating. I'm newer to YouTube, so I'm very slow. I think I only have 14,000 followers on there. And it's just a little bit of a different game, right? It's a lot harder to get followers on YouTube for some reason. And it's probably because I haven't done all the research and figured out all the little key things I need to be doing. I just don't really care to follow all of the trends like that so much. I more just want people to see it if they want to watch me. And if you don't, then that's okay. I'm not looking to be a millionaire off of making videos. That was in no way my intent when I started, and it still isn't. Kind of like I told you, I was never after the money. It
Mhm.
just kind of naturally happened, and if I make money on some videos, great. And if I don't, that's okay. I don't get offended. I just want to put it out there to the world of, hey, you can do things on your own, and you can
Mhm.
find budget friendly ways to do it, and still have a beautiful home and spend very little money. So that's just kind
Yeah.
of where I'm geared towards.
Do you see yourself long term flipping houses or physically? And are you making enough money doing that where you would keep doing that?
Yeah. So, yes, I left the corporate world, doing a pretty good salary and left that into now flipping houses on my own. And I have done very well on salary wise. So that is definitely my main income. And I do foresee myself keep doing that. Now, where I will here in the next couple of houses start kind of shifting a little bit because I'm doing everything on my own now. And I know I'm 35 years old and I just can't do it forever. I don't have issues now, but I just know it's not sustainable, right? So I am going to start kind of slowly bringing on some contractors. I would like to find kind of what you're doing, where I'm not so much subcontracting. I would like to find, like one person that wants to come in and help me from house to house and then kind of
Mhm.
slowly grow from there. For two reasons, because I would like to learn from them. If they've been in the trade for a long time, there's a lot of things I'm sure I will look at them and say, like, oh my gosh, I spent how many hours on that? And you just showed me a trick that took 5 minutes. So there's kind of a two-part to that. But I would always like to help out. And if the day comes where I can't do the projects, then I at least want to manage them, and I still want to make the decisions and decide what I want it to look like. And if I decide I want to paint a wall that day, I'll paint a wall, right? I don't want to be completely out of it. But yeah, I will definitely start to kind of gear towards contractors a little bit more.
That's cool. So, and maybe too, you can learn the tricks from some contractors and then train some. I don't know what your opinion is on working with gals, like
Yeah, I love it.
I like to work with my friends because it gives them something to do. And then, if I can rise, then I want other people to rise too.
Absolutely agree.
And it's so hard as a mom too, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, it's hard to find work that you can do kind of intermittently. So it helps get people out of the house. So
Yes. Yeah,
and helps
that's
keep you kind of fit too. When I'm doing houses, I get strong, and I
yes.
know when I'm not doing houses, I start like having more pain, which sounds ridiculous, but at my age, like if my back is bad, it's either because I worked a really hard day or it's because I haven't done enough work in a while and I'm getting weak. So
Yep.
you got to work out so you don't get too old. That's my take on it. Maybe you'll make so much money on all your videos though, where you can do more projects and then, have the most control. But it sounds like you're just growing it organically, which makes the most sense.
Yeah, I just again, I just wasn't really after the money. Of course, if I get so big and I'm making tons of money being a content creator, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I still think I will probably always flip houses. Obviously, that's where my projects come from, right? So again, I'm not really doing anything extra for content creating. It's just what I'm
Just
already doing and I already love.
recording what you're doing. Yeah.
Right. I just learned like, oh wow, people actually want to watch this. Like, all right, I'll throw up a camera.
So you're not trying to be Joanna Gaines or, whoever who
And
inspires you? Who do you like to watch?
it's so funny. Joanna Gaines is my absolute favorite.
Oh, really? Have you been to Waco?
I have not. That is on my bucket list. I know. I would absolutely love to go there. I don't know why I haven't been, honestly, at this
It's
point.
really pretty neat. I mean, it's a tourist attraction.
Yes, and that's honestly probably why I haven't gone up to this point, is just because every time I see the videos, there are so many people, and I think, oh my gosh, you're just kind of trying to get around, and I want to see
Yeah.
everything. But
It's a little bit, I don't know. I mean, like anything else, like I don't go to Six Flags or what,
right,
places like that anymore because you're just like, there's people everywhere. And I feel like I
yeah,
probably went to it a little bit too late to really enjoy what it was because now it's a lot. But
yeah.
I've only gone once. I probably should go back. What I enjoyed mostly was going to the small places around there that they partner with, like a
Oh
woodworking
yeah,
place. And so it was better than being at the main event, was just getting to
yeah.
go to the other places where it's like, oh, they use this contractor for this thing and they have their own little store. So
Okay.
it was kind of like experiencing what maybe it was before it was big, because all of those people are contractors, but they're not huge like the Big
Right.
Machine is or
They don't
whatever.
have the
So
TV show. Right.
they don't have a
Yeah.
TV
So
show.
that's too funny. And I actually just thought of this. So that my hometown, my tiny little small town that I live in, Joanna Gaines actually went to school here when she was
Right.
in, I think, second or third grade. And I just found this out last year. They shut the whole school down because she came through and wanted to tour. I think it was maybe second grade class or something she wanted to see. And I was like, I had known she was from the Wichita area. I had no
Yeah.
idea she was from my tiny little town. So that was kind of cool to see. Just kind of ironic that she is one of my favorite people. So I would love to be Joanna Gaines, right?
Y'all
I just,
celebrate Joanna Gaines Day in Wichita?
yes, I absolutely, I do. I love her. I love everything she does. I love her style.
But she
Yeah,
makes
they've
it
got
look too
some really,
easy. You know,
yes.
that's it.
Well, I
She's
know they're
juggling a
not,
whole lot.
but I think it's cool that they started small also, right? Like
Yeah.
they're a small town and kind of just started doing it. And assuming organically, I don't really know how she got into it, but
Yeah.
yeah, so funny.
Yeah, she's pretty. I mean, it's a machine now, but I feel
Yeah.
like they seem like they still stay kind of grounded, even though it's kind of become a really, really big deal. So
Yeah.
yeah, you should definitely go. If you go, let me know. I'll meet you down there. We'll have some tea.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm gonna pepper you with questions.
Okay.
Are you in any creator groups? Like, do you mingle with other creators because you're on TikTok and everywhere else? Any sort of like behind the scenes groups where you guys share secrets and things like that?
Not necessarily. So I've joined one time and it was on TikTok and I just found it really hard because it wasn't really geared towards like houses or DIY projects. It was more just like creators. And so it was people, there's a lot of like hair and makeup and things like that that just really aren't my niche. So I kind of found myself falling out of it and not really following. They'll give you good tips on how to make content, but again, that's just not really what I'm after. No, I really don't. I follow a ton of people that I love watching, but I'm not one-on-one connected to any of them. And
Gotcha.
I will say again, that's probably very untraditional for most of the content creators out there. They probably somehow find each other, and that would be amazing if there was a page that, women's DIY stuff just to watch. But nope, I primarily just follow the people that I like seeing and just watch
Yeah.
their content.
Okay. And you just kind of figured it out on your own anyway, kind of like, and plus, like, it's happened organically. So it's not like you're like, how can I get this video to get this many views?
Right. Yes. Yeah. I mean, of course, I love if they get views, but if they don't, it's not going to break my heart. Yeah. No, my algorithm, excuse me, just knows I care about recipes and house projects. That's all it shoots.
Oh, you're one of those. You cook, it sounds like.
Well, I
That's
like to have
interesting.
the ideas at least.
I need to cook. I need to cook. Okay, so what is your perfect day? Like if you're waking up and you get to do whatever you want to do, it's probably involving, it sounds like you love to work. I love to work. Like it's my favorite thing. Besides
Absolutely.
food that somebody else made. But like, what is your perfect day? Like even thinking of like, how you want to spend your day work-wise. Is it getting up and going to work on a home? Is it planning the home? Is it shopping for the things for the home? Like, how would
Yeah.
that look like?
So I will tell you my typical day is wake up, I take my stepdaughter to school, and when I drop her off, then I head straight over to the flip house and I work all day projecting, just like it was an 8 to 5 job, right? I try to set myself to have boundaries. I make sure my alarm is set and I get up at certain times. I never wanted to fall into the like, oh, you own your own business and you can do what you want whenever you want. I try to feel like I have a boss, right? But in my perfect world, my absolute favorite thing to do is wake up on a Saturday or whatever it is and have my coffee. And I like to turn on HGTV and watch an episode of some kind of house flipping or project show. And it just kind of, it fuels me. And then I'm off to do a project. And I may just randomly decide to do something, right? My husband jokes one day this exact scenario was happening and he decided to go mow the yard and he came back in and I had the entire kitchen tore apart. I just decided to redo our backsplash right now. And it of course went bad and all the sheetrock had to come down. And so he walked into like a kitchen of studs.
Yep.
he jokingly tells people all that. That's like, I can't leave her alone or something will be tore apart in our house. And I rebuttal with, but I always fix it, right? Like I never ask for the help to get it done. So no, that is absolutely my perfect day. I love to work. I do not like to sit still. I am a very hands-on projecting kind of person. So I am a go, go, go all the time. So
That's
house
perfect.
project, are my absolute favorite. And I will
Yeah.
not say I don't have bad days, right? There are days where I just think, God, I'd like to light a match in this house.
Yes.
When am I ever going to be done with it? But for the most part, I try to not think about the whole picture of a house. People say, like, how do you not get overwhelmed with a whole house on your own? I say, I don't think about it. They ask me what I'm going to do with that bathroom. I don't know. I'll figure it out before I get there, right? I am thinking about the kitchen right now, and I just try to project by project, and it may be as small as one accent wall. And then when I get towards the end of that one, then I will move on to my next thought. But yeah, that's my perfect day is working, which is silly.
No, I love it. That's what I love to do. My husband jokes that like, well, he goes out of town with his friends. They do like rock climbing trips and, river rafting and they just
Yeah.
go. They go a few times a year. And the joke is that when he goes out of town, I buy a house.
Yes. So that's so funny. I buy all my houses without my husband
I
looking too.
know. I'm just like, or I paint a ceiling, or I do something,
Yes.
tear something apart. But yeah, for me, working on homes is hobby, and so
Yeah.
it feels like you're getting to hobby all the time. There are
Yeah.
those projects where you're like, oh my gosh, when is this ever going to be over? Right now, I'm painting my bathroom cabinets because I'm trying to buy another house right now, and so before I can buy it, I have to finish this one. And
Yep.
so nothing like motivation of, trying to get a different house to help you finish your current house. So,
Yes.
but
Absolutely agree.
I love tearing up a house. I love it. More than I love finishing a project, I love starting a new project. It's just energizing. It feels so.
It is.
Okay, are you friends with any of the creators that you follow? Do you ever reach out to anybody? Try to like, because I mean, I love working by myself a lot, but I also love working with girlfriends. But I've never really been a sit down talk to people kind of stuff without like having my hands doing something. I'm not good at
Right.
it still.
Yeah.
So do you get lonely ever? Do you ever like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do
Yeah,
you have,
no, absolutely. So, I am not fortunate enough to really have a lot of girlfriends around that like to do what I'm doing. I think, well, in their defense, they all have full-time jobs, right?
yeah,
So, it's hard to find women that really like to do what we're doing. I think a lot of people like to decorate and things like that, but they don't necessarily want to put the hard work into actually getting a house flipped or things like that. So, I don't necessarily have anyone like in my life that I have day to day to talk to about it. So I listen to a lot of podcasts.
hmm
I found some podcasts out there that are women flipping houses. It's really hard for me. A lot of them are investors. And so, they will walk you through like the business side of things, which is informational and things that I like to learn about too. But I have a hard time finding women that are specifically doing the work themselves. So that's where I kind of turn to social media, where I can find other creators out there that are. But I have not one on one reached out to any of them. I mostly just watch their content. And I think some of that is just maybe a little bit because I don't really consider myself to be a really great content creator. Um, I don't know. It's funny when people like you reach out to me and say like, "Oh my gosh, you're interested in talking to me," and I think I'm just like an average Joe that's flipping a house, right? That's how I think of myself. I don't think of myself to be anything great other than I'm just doing something that I love to do.
hmm
So I mean, maybe I would take the advice to kind of reach out. I think that's a great idea to be able to collaborate with other women or men. It just seems like women are geared towards my design aspect a little bit more. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I will probably put that in my notebook as something to challenge myself to do is maybe reach out.
Sorry, my dog.
Oh, you're fine.
I have the same dog you do. I have a golden
Oh, too
retriever too.
funny. And mine is back behind the camera snoring right
Oh,
now.
really? Well,
Earlier, like,
somebody I think just knocked at my door, so she's like, ah. Oh my gosh. I know I saw your dog. I was like, we have the same dog. Stop it. No.
that is so funny. Is it English or an English cream golden
It's
retriever?
yeah, I didn't know
Cream.
exactly what you call it, but she's a cream girl. She's
Yeah, I think
8 years old. She just had a big surgery, but she's good. She's good
oh,
again.
that's so funny. We are like the same person. My dog is also 8.
Oh, where'd
Cream
you get
golden
your?
retriever. Out of Arkansas, a breeder
Okay.
out of Arkansas.
Yeah, we got an Oklahoma dog. I don't know what that means,
Oh,
but she's the best. We love her so much.
yes, absolutely. They're a great breed. I love him.
Yeah, they are. Thank you
Bravo.
so much for being willing to come on and
Yeah.
share everything. I am gonna follow everything. I I probably don't need any new project ideas, but it's interesting. I haven't ever gone from it from the perspective of like, I know you weren't trying to go out there and like monetize anything, but I haven't, I've got so much content, I just haven't put it together and edited it, partly because I wasn't sure what I've been using like iMovie, but that's because I make real estate videos and it's what I started using. So it's what I know. When you
Yeah.
said CapCut, I'm like, I've heard of that, but I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. So CapCut is like the be all, right? And I'm sure there's 100 others out there that people pay for. I just refuse to pay to make content. I'm just not
Yeah.
doing it. If I have to pay
Yeah.
for it, then I'm not doing
Yeah.
it.
Well,
um,
that's not your game is to make
no,
content.
no.
Yeah.
But I quickly realized when they did the TikTok ban, apparently CapCut is somehow involved in all of that, and it shut down. And I was like mortified, right? I didn't care that
Yes.
TikTok was gone. I cared that CapCut was gone. It's the only thing I know how to make videos on, but it's really
Yeah.
great for editing. And I found out that there are a lot of content creators that are using it. So absolutely put that in your book.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, one last question I forgot to ask you. So you just reminded me of something. So TikTok goes away. Well, it's not going to, but when it does, it's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And then so like you don't own TikTok, you don't own YouTube, you don't own Instagram. Like the only thing you truly own is all like your own assets, your own content.
Right.
Do you have you done like an email list or anything? Do you have any sort of like followership that you're sending out to any sort of like email list? That way you've got a following and you kind of own those contacts. Does that make sense? I know that's not what you're
Yeah.
trying to go towards, but have you done
Yeah.
anything in that realm?
I have not. I just kind of stand behind the if it goes away, it goes away. It
Yeah.
wasn't what I was after in the first place, right? The money is not a big thing to me. I want people to see my content. So
Unless
in
it's a
my
lot of
mind,
money. Unless it's a
yeah,
ton of money.
yeah,
How many houses you could buy?
I know. No, I always think in my head, if one goes away, another one will come, right? Like,
Yeah, there's always going to be a replacement for sure.
absolutely. People know where the niches are. And if TikTok goes away, then guess what? There'll be another one just with a different name. So, no, I have not done that. That's probably a really great idea. It's just not so much what I was after. Again, the money is great. It's not a complaint at all. It's great income for the side. I just want people to follow my stuff and kind of see that they can do things right. I more care about motivating women and showing them that they can do something versus making the money off of it. So,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I will keep this part private. You don't have to share it with me if you don't want to, but I know you're saying the money isn't where, will you stop? She's just looking at me now. Acts like she can't open doors. I know
They are
she can
they
open doors.
in that sad look. You say the "no" word to them, and it's like
Oh
their
my
heart breaks. It's
gosh.
very sad.
She's literally gone behind something, like went past the obstruction and then couldn't figure out how to get back through because it was in her way. And I'm like,
I,
girl, it was there when you went back there. So you figure
so
that out and I'll see you later.
it must be the breed. Mine is the same way. He's like, and he won't turn around. He walks backwards. Does yours do
Yes,
that?
they back
Yeah.
up.
Yes. I know. It's like, are you broken? What's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Okay, but just so I can give people, encouragement, when you're not trying to make money doing what you're doing, about how much money would you make if you're not trying?
So I get asked that a lot. And I have no issues holding back what I make. The problem is there's not really a good answer because there's not a good monthly income. It is 100% on what you're posting, how much you're posting, and if they go viral.
Mhm.
So I will say off of the one, and again, I don't normally tell people this exact number, but
Yeah.
off of the one beam video, and I think in total that got somewhere around like 40 million views between all the platforms, right? And I'm not big enough to be paid on YouTube yet, so I didn't make any money there. But between TikTok and Facebook on that one video, I made somewhere around 9,000, just under.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Um, yeah. And so obviously when you have other videos out there monetizing at the same time, I would say like it's very easy to at least get a couple thousand a month, not trying.
Yeah.
And I don't post a lot. I am very bad about that. I'm sure if you listen to anything with posting and algorithms, they will tell you like you have to post consistently. You have to post daily, right? I don't care to post daily. I just post when I want to post. And again, I'm very non-traditional on that. I think if I wanted to grow my content and make it kind of my full-time job, then I absolutely would make sure that I'm doing that and
Yeah.
probably could make a lot more money than I am doing now. But to me, it's just extra money. I don't count on any of it. It's fun money, right? I don't even spend it. I just throw it in an account and watch it grow and think like, well, this is fun.
Yeah, it might be like buy a different house money. You never know,
Right. Like
you know?
someday I'll figure out what I want to buy with that. Yeah, so I would say for me, probably a couple extra thousand a month, and then I have good and I have bad. So yeah, there are times that I've had videos go viral that I just think like, oh my gosh. Funny, the one of the videos, it was not this last countertop that I did, but the one before that, and it went really viral too. It was probably my first like really big viral video. And I was monetizing on Facebook, and I think I made like 5,000 off of it just on Facebook. And I found out like, oh my gosh, TikTok pays you to do the exact same thing. I had no idea. You just have to apply.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I was promoting products, but you have
Yeah.
to apply to be like a content creator for your own videos, and I had no idea. And it went more viral on TikTok than it did Facebook. And I was thinking like, oh
Oh
my gosh, I
no.
could have doubled my money. I just
Yeah.
yeah, I that's my own fault. It's my own fault for not doing the research. I kind of like post, and if I see somebody give some advice on like, oh, okay, I need to post more, or I need to put that hashtag in there or whatever it is, then I will.
I know.
But I don't really go looking for it. So, and I should be better about that. That's not advice to anybody, right? Don't follow my
But
do
it's
what
also
I say,
not
not
how
what
you
I do.
spend your day. You know,
Yeah,
you're doing what you want to do with your day, and then
yeah.
everything else is sort of just like bonus on top of that.
Right. Like my
Yeah.
job is flipping houses, and that's where my income comes from. So the videos and the content creating is just 100% side job. It's I edit them when I can't sleep. I lay in bed and that's when I edit. And my
Oh,
husband
nice.
sleeps like a rock, so he never hears me doing voiceovers and
Oh my
it
gosh,
works
you
out.
can talk next to him? That's
It's
amazing.
crazy.
Well, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, I have paint on my ear from yesterday. I pulled out the biggest chunk of hair last night because I had my hair in a pony and I bumped my vanity and got paint in my hair, and then I ripped my hair out and I just realized I have paint on my ear.
That
And
is hilarious. We are the same person.
good
I
Lord.
look at my fingernail right now. It's about to fall off. Like, wait, there's nothing pretty about this job,
No,
right?
it's not. It's the hazards. But
Oh,
anyway, I'm
it's so
trying to
funny.
figure out something I can do that my husband can get involved in.
Yeah.
Really, I just want him to carry out all of my tasks that I don't have time to do, and he would love
Yes.
to do that. As long as I'm not there telling him how to do it, he's happy to do
Right. Yeah. So it's funny you say that. The original reason that we decided, like, okay, we're gonna do this. I jumped out of corporate world. One, I wasn't happy doing what I was doing, right? So my husband was just, I mean, he pushed for a really long time for me to kind of step out of that. Because when you don't like your job, you're just not happy in life in general,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So I already knew it wasn't what I wanted to do long term. So I thought, okay, can I get into doing houses? I was just terrified. I was leaving, this nice corporate salary to flipping houses where I'm not going to have income until, I sell a house and trying to build a company and all those things. But the reason we ultimately made the decision is, like I told you, I have a stepdaughter. My husband also works in aircraft, and the hours are absolutely crazy, right? You go in at 5 o'clock in the morning and you might not come home until 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Like the hours are very not set there when you're a manager. If something goes bad, you're staying to fix it. So we realized like, hey, in order to not have to have help, we were very fortunate with family around us to help with my stepdaughter, but it was so bad, like getting her to school and things like that. We just weren't available. So I realized, okay, we've got to make a change here. How can we set this up to where I'm available to go to, class parties and pick her up or take her to school, or she gets sick, it's not the end of the world of like, oh my gosh, who's leaving, who's having the worst day at work and who can get out of it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so that is absolutely why we jumped into it. And I have a very open schedule. I don't treat it that way, but I can if I have to. If I get a call that the school needs me, like I can absolutely jump up and go, which is awesome. That is definitely what we were shooting for. But then I realized like you can also make really great money doing it too. And end goal, my husband also would like to get out of aircraft at some point, and we have definitely like tried to structure the business to where I will continue to flip, whether it's with contractors, whatever it is, it's on the flipping side, and we will pick up enough rentals that he will kind of go towards the rental side of things and run that. So it's like you're both working within the same company under the same umbrella, but we're not, one-on-one working, because that obviously can get to be a lot too. And I love him and could work with him every day. But like we have different ideas. So yeah, that's kind of like our end goal. And I've quickly realized just on doing the houses, like it's very attainable. I'm not telling everybody to go out there and quit their job. I'm fortunate enough to have a husband that holds our insurance and still has a
Yeah.
great income. So I'm not telling everyone just like go quit your job and flip a house because it's hard, right? I've had to be extremely frugal. I had to cut back on a lot of things, knowing like I'm going to go 6 months without paying myself.
Mhm.
So that's been definitely something to learn. But you absolutely can make great money doing it and build a huge business. So in the end, it's funny you said like Joanna Gaines and things because not that I have my own TV show, but I would absolutely love to, build this empire for my family that can generationally wealth being passed down and things like that if it's what our kids choose to go into. So
Mhm.
that's kind of my end goal is just build it to one, have the financial freedom, but also time to where we can spend with family. And um, I think when you work a corporate job, like you learn that quickly, right? That sometimes they don't always realize that family is most important. And so you learn the hard way, and we kind of both have learned that. So we're trying to get out of that lifestyle, have financial freedom, but also like timeline. So there's my advice to you. But that's kind of our business motto and the route that we're going.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Like totally
Yeah,
doable, I think, especially nowadays. I feel like being a creator, even though maybe you don't call yourself a creator, but like that gives you a lot of possibilities as far as like you could monetize more than you are.
absolutely.
And that could be what brings him out of that and into this,
Yeah,
And then also having him do the rental side, then if not that there's never going to be like there's always a home to flip, but whether or not the market's in a place where it's going to give
right.
you the money back, because you got to make your margins, otherwise you worked for free. You had
Absolutely.
fun, but you worked for free. you know
Right.
so but working two different aspects of that, then like when one thing's not going so hot, the other thing is carrying the other thing. So
Right. It's like don't put your all your eggs in one basket, right? That's what
exactly, diversify. If we've been taught
yes.
anything in our accounting classes or investing, is
Yes.
diversification.
Absolutely.
Hey, do you follow I think it's Gailey Halix, I think is her name.
I don't believe so. I'm gonna have
Okay,
to
I'm
look it
gonna
up.
send you a link to something she does. So she does these videos. She has her own show now, and I forget what it's called. I'm bad with show names. I
I
love
am too. I was gonna tell you there's other people I love. I just can't think of the names.
I love the sisters who do the unsellable houses on
Yes.
HGTV. I love
Yes.
them. This girl I think is also on HGTV, and I cannot recall the name of it. I live kind of local to the redheaded chick.
Yes. I know
No
exactly.
Demo Reno or All Demo.
Um,
This I forget the name of it.
I can't
Anyway,
think of her name either, but I absolutely
yeah,
watched
she
it.
lives
Yep.
in Plano, I think. So,
Okay.
interestingly, my previous neighbor, um, is one of the contractors on her show, and I lived at this one house for like 3 years, and we were getting ready to sell it. I've lived in the same neighborhood for 22 years, but we're on our third house because I just keep
Okay.
moving houses. The
Yeah.
last house we were in, I was trying to do this thing on the outside of the house to get it ready to list. And someone's like, well, why don't you just call your neighbor? He's a contractor. I was like, really? And so I went over, knocked on his door, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be on this TV show pretty soon. I'm the contractor on this. I think at that time they were trying to decide what to name it, but I think it's called No Demo Big Reno or something like that. Anyway, the
Okay.
redheaded chick, I forget her name, but
Yeah, no, I know exactly which
yeah,
one you're talking about.
yeah. But Gailey is she does all these really cool videos. She basically like I think her thing is she goes into a house, she gets a weekend, she gets a huge budget, like $30,000 or something crazy, and in one weekend she'll do some insane media room or some like insane outdoor fireplace, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's always like, we're gonna surprise them with one extra room. And so she'll
Yeah.
go do a room they weren't even asking her to do. And anyway, so it's a lot of fun to watch. But she does a lot of the time lapse things like what you're talking about earlier. So
Yeah.
it's very
I
entertaining to
I will go
watch.
follow her.
Yes, yes, for sure. Well, cool. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate
Yes.
you sharing all of your tips and everything. And all I know that it's weird talking about money, but I think a big part of what I'm looking to do is showing people that you can make money doing other things so people don't feel so
Yeah.
stuck. Because I felt so stuck for so long. And I still feel that way sometimes. I'm like, well, now I'm in real estate and I love real estate, but I don't know that this is my forever thing. I like the
Right.
houses more than I like the selling process. So how do I get more into houses? So this is kind
Yeah.
of okay.
No,
That's what.
I think what you're doing is absolutely awesome. It's cool to be able to show people,
Yeah.
people like me, right? Like there's still to this day, I listen to podcasts and think like, oh my gosh, I can do that. Or
Yeah.
people are running businesses out there that I may think I can do it, but I'm fearful to jump into. Or I think it's awesome that you're going out and showing it, primarily women, because
Yeah.
that's what I
Women.
like to focus on too. Is like, hey, you can do this, and you can absolutely be maybe not a stay-at-home mom, but you can have the freedom to go to your kid's Valentine's party or
Yes.
whatever it is and still make really great money. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's awesome. But absolutely the money part of it and content creating, I think there's a huge, obviously, demand for it in the world we live in right now. So I encourage anybody to jump on. I also encourage everybody to make sure that you are strong-minded before you do that, because there's a lot of mean people out there.
Yeah.
You just can't care. You
You
just
just can't care. Yeah.
no. People ask me that all the time. Like, how do you deal with that? People bash you. I mean, I can get bashed on anything. I could build a wall, and they will tell me like my nose is too big, right? Like it
That's so
something
crazy.
doesn't
Yeah.
to anything, and I just laugh and say like, you actually can't offend me. Like nobody that is someone that's going to come on and be a keyboard warrior behind the scenes and doesn't know anything about me is never going to offend me. So,
Yeah.
but I caution people, if you are going to put content out there, like just know you can't make them happy, right?
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
gonna you please who you're pleasing, and you just don't worry about the rest.
Yeah. My friend Kelly said, what people think about you is none of your business.
I absolutely agree. Like, none of them know anything about your personal life, and you just
They
can't take
don't.
it personally.
Yeah. They don't.
You
I just
gotta,
picture when somebody says something bad, I just picture like this person sitting in their mom's basement with their 2 liter of Dr. Pepper, and they're just like, I'm gonna kill this person on the internet with
it
my
is so
with my
funny because
vitriol.
sometimes, I'll read one, and my friends are normally the ones that will say, like, oh my gosh, Lyndsey, like get on your social media. Did you see they're fighting in your comment section? And it's like,
Oh
no, I didn't
gosh.
see it. You get so many notifications, you just don't look half the time. I mean, I do my fair share of trying to comment back, but
Yeah.
but I do not take any time to comment negatively. If you have
No.
something negative to say, I'm not wasting my time on that.
Yeah.
But I get in there and I laugh, and sometimes I do click on the profile picture, and I giggle, and it's like, oh, you've never picked up a hammer before.
Yeah.
Thank you for commenting on what my nose looked like today.
You're like, if you can't tell me where sheetrock is at Lowe's, then I don't
Right.
really give a crap what you say.
Absolutely agree. You just have to remember that. But
Yeah.
no, I think what you're doing is really great, and just kind of showing people you can get big with it, right? Just a couple seconds ago, I just had a notification pop up, and there's a girl in my hometown. Actually, my husband is her husband's boss, and it's just kind of funny. She's a really big content creator on YouTube. She does a lot of like homesteading things, and signed a huge contract with Home Depot. And so it's funny, she was a stay-at-home homesteader, and now she's making, probably really great money. I've never asked financially, but yeah, like it's out there, and you can do it. I'm sure she was already doing all of that, just not making an income. And here she is going to sign with Home Depot, which is really awesome, just to see where it can go if you put the effort into it. So
Well, before her head gets big, you let me know who she is so I can interview her.
I'll absolutely have to send her your way.
But seriously though, if you come across any podcasts or anything that you think that I need to hear, just shoot
Yeah.
me, just share the episode with me. Because I listen, it
Okay.
sounds ridiculous because I'm always like, I'm very pro women, but I love the men's. But most of the podcasts I listen to are men because there's not a lot of women talking about the stuff that I really, about
Right.
I love the business stuff and the entrepreneur stuff. And I just love all
Yeah.
of that, like that it's brain candy. So whenever I'm painting and doing anything else, I'm always listening to a podcast. And I look for women talking about things, and it's just
Yes.
find.
It is. It is really
Really
hard
hard.
to find. I will have to send you one that it's all women. And like I said, they don't all flip their own houses, but they're all house flippers, right? They've all invested, and they talk about the numbers, which is really great for me. Because you kind of get to learn the business side, and like, what are other people making on these, or, the ins and outs, or how are they finding their contractors? I mean, they answer a lot of questions that everybody gets stumped on at some point. I will absolutely send that one to you. And there are
Oh,
like hundreds of episodes. I don't know that you could ever
oh,
listen to them all.
I'll have it. I'll have it in there before the end of the week. Just
Yes.
lay it
Yeah,
on me.
it's a really good one. I really like it. And like I said, it's all women. So that's really nice. It's actually a female that started it, and she started, with like $20 in her pocket. Now she's a multimillionaire. So it's really cool to see just what she's doing. And a lot of the other women are still working. And they will kind of tell you how to, how they set up their business and how they're doing it on the side and how many houses they've done and yada, yada. So I will send you that
Cool.
link.
Yeah, send it to me.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right,
Awesome.
I guess we should go to work.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate
Thank
it. This
you. It was
has
so
been really
much
fun.
fun. I hope we get to talk again soon. When I was saying
Yes.
earlier, are you in any sort of like creator group? It's because I'm planning on starting a creator group
Well, I would
of
love to
DIY
be.
women's, not just
Yes,
any.
I would absolutely love to be a part of it if you start something like that. I think it's a great idea. I haven't jumped out there to look. So
Yeah. Well, you're
that's,
busy. You're using hammers and
yeah, well, put me on your list to
all
add
right,
to.
cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. You have a
All
good
right.
day.
Have a good one. You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.